put in my login credentials, which I haven't done so in a very long time. To the point where I've probably forgotten my password. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. All right, let's continue on with this. I haven't really bothered to hop onto Genshin since the last time I streamed this. We got a new event happening. See what's happened. Okay, so that only started a couple days ago. Cool. Oh, I see. It's a big ass event. That's what's going on. Oh boy, it gives you a free free Goro. Lovely. Not like I need him. There's another Vibro Crystal event. Hey, oh, we got. Oh, we've already missed the Vibro Crystal application event. Oh well. It was boring anyway. Apparently it was Kale's birthday, so there's her birthday message. Welcome back. I wasn't gone that long though. Oh boy, it's a survey. These are always fun. Mail. PC. How satisfied am I with Genshin? Somewhat. Based on my previous experience playing Genshin Impact, am I dissatisfied with the following aspects? Select up to 5. I'd rather select all of them. Say that. Costs too much money to wish for a character. Yeah, let's check that off too. This is also that. Other. Say that. And That's all I wanted. I just want to say those four. Have I ever taken a break from, taken a few breaks? What are the following reasons explain why I take multiple breaks? I can select up to 3 here. Say that. And that. And that. Yeah, sure. Interesting. Why did I return this time? I wasn't gone for that long. Oh, seriously, it's only been like when did I stream this? I could have swore I streamed it like weeks ago. April 24th. 1, 2. Yeah, literally 2 weeks ago. I don't know why that's thinking that I've been gone for like a year. No new Archon quests have happened. Shit, I don't even know what to fucking pick in here. We'll say that. And we'll say that. Have I experienced any gameplay content that makes me want to carry on? Not yet. Which of the following? More of these. Oh, this one I can select all I want. I'll say that. Sure. New regions. That. I'll say that. Which of the following situations would persuade me? I'll say that too. I'll take an every for Genshin, how in touch for your Genshin impact and we'll say I had a general idea. Which of the following channels do you usually follow Genshin impact related info on? Say Twitch. Say emails. Say 4chan. No joke. Maybe yeah, I probably see a little bit on YouTube. We'll say that. What I use? Oh Jesus Christ! If I knew it was going to take this long. Ugh. Would I usually follow? Probably that. That. Of course, I played other games. And now it wants me to now asks me what games. Unfortunately for them, I don't play any of these games. Yeah, probably assumes I go to another gacha game or something. Need help with information or guides related to Genshin Impact's game content? We'll say yes. Say weapon and artifact sets. This is all we can apply. Character quality recommendation. Yeah, why not? That'd probably be nice too. That would also be nice too. That. I'll say that. No, I don't have any other thoughts. Jeez, I don't think I was gone that long. I mean, that was 100 Prima Gems though, so that was worth it. It's always worth it when we have to get Prima Gems. Fontanian friends. They got a music festival called the Iridescence Tour over there. It's really interesting. I thought of that drum along festival we had last time and how we drummed it up on Makane Island. Okay, so it's just going to be a bit of be there or be square. If you're a no-show, then there's no show. Disclaimer, of course I didn't have Shinobu transcribe this for me. He totally did. Yeah, that'll unlock another event. Which is that. Oh shit. We get a horn. We'll get a horn from it. Okay. Oh, we got 7 hours to do this one. Get on it. Yeah, we're mostly focusing on her story. We're still halfway into that. I haven't even fucking it's probably I mean I probably could knock that out.
Boats
in 7
are made
hours.
for transferring commodities back and forth.
Oh, that's cute. The game thinks I've gone so long that it's giving me this little thing. Yeah, what this is a stellar reunion. If you stop playing Genshin Impact for a certain length of time and then log in, you're treated to this where you'll have a 7-day login bonus, and then it just advertises all these fancy stuffs that recently changed or something. Which then you also got like quests that you can do to get more fancy stuff. Well, redeem it all. I mean, if they're gonna give me all this, then who am I to refuse it? Now that I've already done though. We've already done this. We've already done this too. And that thing too. And we already know that that these are the current wishes.
And those that come across Liyue tend to stay a while.
I don't really care for either of these characters. I probably already did Linnea's. Yeah, I'm only working on Arlecchino's. I haven't done Lynette's though, but I'm pretty sure I did Linnea's. I think he had
many things come to settle.
Anyway, that's enough of that shit. Let's actually continue on with Chino's story as soon as I can figure out how to get upstairs. Astro. I don't know who that is. Probably just some random. Keeps trying. Is he actually on my friend list? I'll check that first. No, just Perline's on. She's currently live. Yeah, she's currently doing that music of Vito. Hey, Reno, thanks for tuning in, and thank you for renewing your sub. Really appreciate it. How you doing tonight? 34 months, damn. That's great. I'm doing all right. Just in time for some Genshin impacts. Continue on with Arlecchino's story quest. Subs I get one new game a year.
It's you two again.
That's possible.
I must say, you look a bit pale. Did you have trouble sleeping last night?
A little.
Perhaps if you had less on your mind, you'd be able to absolve yourself of such troubles. So what are you planning to do now? Catch up on some sleep? Or should I give you some time to rack your brain for a topic to discuss before I ask any questions? Although I must profess to being curious. Without child here, how do you plan on distracting me?
Aw, shit, she's on to us.
Us? Distract you? A good one. But no, we were just here for a chat.
Looks like you could have used some extra time to think. No matter. If you don't have any other plans, why don't you accompany me somewhere? Don't worry. I'll be sure to steer clear of any scheming children.
The ocean breeze is sure nice today.
So you know everything then.
Children always think they can hide things from the grown-ups. But nothing gets past me. Least of all a little scheming. I think I'll let them have at it for a little longer. I can be very patient. Well, I'll leave you to think things over. If you're so inclined, meet me outside the Palais Mermonia. Good things come to children who do as they're told. So I do hope you decide to tag along. If only for your friends' sakes.
What should we do? She clearly knows about everything we've been doing, and Paimon doesn't think it'd be a stretch to say she was threatening us just now.
We should release the pigeon that Linny gave us.
Oh, good idea. Hopefully he sees it in time. Well, we should probably head to the Palais Mermonia. Paimon doesn't want to find out what happens if we don't show up. Based on what the knave was saying just now, it sure didn't seem like it'd be anything good.
Really don't have any other options. Guess all we can do is take it one step at a time.
Okay, then we probably shouldn't keep her waiting. It seems like Linny and the others are on thin ice, so let's do our best to not get them in any more trouble.
Quick recap about the first half that we did. Fremine found a little girl among their House of the Hearth. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine have decided to try to keep her secret, but now then it was discovered that this little girl is something of a ghost, like a tangible ghost. And now they want to try to keep her a secret from the knave. But now we're at the point where the knave actually knows what's going on.
Seeing as we still have some time before my meeting, we might as well enjoy some pleasant conversation while we wait. I'm glad to see you get along with my children. Being surrounded by good companions is necessary for a child's development.
You're not planning on doing anything to them, are you?
I assume you're referring to Linny, Lynette, and Fremine, although there's that situation with Filial and Nentoy as well. It appears quite a few people have been acting out lately. No matter. I'm not one to discriminate. All those who betray the house meet the same fate. There are no exceptions.
Does that mean you're going to kill them?
Oh, are you here to beg for their lives? I'm sorry to disappoint, but the rules of the house change for no one. In my organization, everyone is responsible for their own actions.
But don't you care about them at all? They really respect you. They even call you father. You must feel something for them.
Any organization in which feelings come before principles is one destined for ruin. The House of the Hearth is hardly an exception. You could say our principles are more stringent than most. Perhaps I can offer you this consolation at least. As our guests, you two will not be held accountable along with them.
There's really no other way to solve this issue.
I would imagine Linny, Lynette, and Fremine will be able to keep their lives. As for Filial, Nantoy, and the others, I'm afraid there's little I can do. They can try to escape, but once you know our secrets, there's no getting out alive.
Well, that's kind of morbid.
But that's awful.
Ah, you seem
Now, Nini,
concerned.
we're in a story.
Out of consideration for my guests, I suppose I could turn a blind eye for a little longer. If Linny and the others manage to dispose of Claire V in the meantime, all evidence of their wrongdoing will be lost. In that case, I could hardly punish them for something I couldn't prove. If their efforts are unsuccessful, on the other hand, all will be held accountable. And the punishment will be severe.
It's
Of
a deal,
course.
then.
Oh, and here, I believe this belongs to you. Do try and keep better track of it next time.
Oh, there goes the burb that we just released.
It takes a considerable amount of time to train a bird like this. It would be such a pity if you were to lose it. Permanently.
Wait, where did you get that?
Be sneaky.
Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have to chat. Now, for the matter at hand. I asked you to meet me here because I have business at the Palais Mermonia. It has nothing to do with you, but I think it would be prudent for you to stick by my side for the time being. There will always be time later to run off and tell Linny what you've learned. Well, time to go. Looks like we wrapped things up just in time.
Negotiations. What kind of negotiations it is. By the quest marker, I guess we're talking to Nouvellette for a little bit.
It's been a while, Monsieur Neuvillette. I must say, I wasn't expecting my meeting request to be approved quite so quickly. The Palais Mermonia operates with an efficiency worthy of admiration.
It is only right that an esteemed diplomat such as yourself should be afforded the proper level of respect. Although, if I may speak plainly, I must confess that I did not anticipate we would have the occasion to meet again after presenting you with the Gnosis. I see you've brought the Traveler and Paimon with you as well. If I may inquire as to the purpose of your visit.
We're just here. We're just accessories.
I'll be departing Fontaine shortly. There is, however, an outstanding matter that I would like to see resolved before I go. It requires a rather lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. So I took the liberty of explaining everything in this proposal. Please review it at your leisure, Monsieur Neuvillette.
I understand your request. However, at the risk of causing offense, I must admit that I fail to see why you would wish for such a thing.
I heard you have a certain fondness for water tasting, Monsieur Neuvillette, so allow me to use water as an analogy. A family is like a large body of water with countless rivers flowing in and out. As someone who watches over this system, I would hope that each river that flows from the source will eventually reach the ocean. Of course, objectively speaking, I know this is impossible. Most of the rivers will dry up along the way, disappearing into the ground and leaving nothing but a barren riverbed behind.
I feel thirsty all of a sudden. All this talk about water makes me want to drink some water.
Not all rivers are destined to reach the ocean, but I would not see their existence rendered meaningless. I believe the water that flows within them is simply meant for a different destination, like a field in need of irrigation. Or perhaps the glass of a certain water-tasting enthusiast.
Did you get any of that, Traveler?
Kind of.
Your words paint an optimistic picture indeed. Allow me to remind you, however, few among us are willing to sip from a glass filled with tainted water.
It may have been tainted at one point in time, but not to worry. I'll make sure it's strained of all impurities and returned to its cleanest form.
I seem to recall there being a transactional aspect to your proposal. Perhaps you could expound on that?
If you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I will gradually withdraw my forces from Fontaine. And, unless absolutely necessary, I will no longer carry out any special missions within Fontaine.
Oh, okay. So the Fatui will pull out of Fontaine if Neuvillette accepts whatever the hell she just handed him.
I presume I can take your words to mean that, in the future, cases similar to the Tartuffe assassination will cease to cross my desk?
Tartuffe? Ah, that thief who embezzled funds from all those charities, you mean? My deepest condolences to his family, but without any evidence, I cannot imagine how the House of the Hearth might have been involved in his passing.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, if you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I'm sure certain measures could be taken to reduce the frequency of such troubles.
You choose your words carefully indeed. In that case, I am inclined to accept your proposal.
My thanks for your generosity, Monsieur Neuvillette. Well, with that settled, we should be going now. I took the liberty of bringing along 2 bottles of spring water from Snezhnaya for you to enjoy. I do hope I get the chance to hear your impressions. Perhaps at our next meeting, yes?
I bet one of them spiked.
Indeed. I trust you would not overlook your commitment in the meantime.
All right, Traveler Paimon. Time to go.
Neuvillette first.
I believe I've told you before that my emotions easily resonate with those of others. Yet in the few meetings I've had with that Harbinger, I haven't been able to sense any aspect of her emotional state. Her mind is like a still body of water. Who knows what darkness lies in its depths, and the lack of ripples on the surface gives nothing away. It's unclear whether this is her natural state of being, or whether it's an incredible strength of will that gives her the ability to master her emotions. Either scenario, however, suggests she is a very dangerous individual. I do not expect an explanation as to why you two are by her side. Whatever your reasoning, I would only advise you to take caution.
Shall indeed take caution.
So, what exactly were you talking about back there? Paimon only heard you mention some rivers, a large body of water, and then some kind of irrigation scheme.
You really want to know? I would imagine there might be more pressing concerns at the moment.
Winnie, Paimon really hopes everything's going okay. Oh, Paimon recognizes that look. You've got your tiki cap on, don't you, Traveler?
It may seem relaxed, but she didn't seem to be joking earlier. She said those who betray the organization must pay with their lives. I think she's serious about punishing those kids. Should we stop her. No, there's something else we should figure out first. We were talking in front of the Palais Marmonia. She mentioned Clairvay's name. She should know that Clairvay was the entire time. Maybe she anticipated how Linny and the others were going to act. Smack.
Oh, shoot. Are you alright? Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. I was so focused on selling these papers, I wasn't looking where I was going.
I also wasn't paying attention.
Well, let me make it up to you at least. Here, take this paper. On the house.
It's kind of familiar for some reason.
Oh, you don't have to give us anything.
Please, I want to. It's not like I'm short on supply. All the extras will be useless come tomorrow anyway. It's my fault, really. I was just trying to bring home some extra mora for the family, but I bit off more than I can chew. I haven't had many takers today, so I'm still swimming in papers.
What's going on here?
Nothing much. I just ran into your friend here on accident. I should probably get going, actually, so...
Hold on.
Of course, I'm happy to compensate you with mora, it's just... I don't have any on me at the moment.
I'll take 3 papers. Here. Your payment.
Oh! Thank you for your patronage. May the Archons bless you with good fortune. If only I had the chance to run into such generous customers every day. I should probably just take on a smaller inventory though, right? I'm getting married soon, so sometimes it's hard to not get ahead of myself. Anyway, I should head out. Goodbye!
Well, now that my affairs are settled, we should take the boat back to Poisson. We've even acquired some light reading to enjoy along the way.
Actually, why don't we stick around for a little longer? Paimon just realized how hungry she is. She can't head back to Poisson on an empty stomach.
Paimon is trying to buy us more time. If we head back now, I doubt Linny and the others will make any progress. What should we do?
It appears you two are under the impression that delaying our return will somehow alter the situation in your favor. I'm sorry to ruin your fantasy, but your efforts are meaningless.
Damn, she's already on to us.
That being said, I could be persuaded to give Linny some extra time. I just have one condition. If you agree to my request, I'll even answer some of your questions. You're quite curious about Clairvay, are you not? And my relationship to her.
Wait, why are you being so generous all of a sudden? You're not gonna ask us to do something bad, are you?
You overestimate yourself. You don't have the talent for bad things.
Then what do you possibly...
The most important consideration in a negotiation is that both sides receive something they want. Demands and threats only get you so far.
Condition, let's hear it.
Wonderful. Here it is. When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
Oh, we didn't even get to...
Okay, sounds normal enough.
Oh no, that was it.
What do you mean, when the time comes? When is that supposed to be?
That is for you to decide.
Lovely. We accept your condition.
Then we have a deal. Follow me.
Oh, he wants us to go all the way out here. Okay. Let us go all the way out there then.
place?
Somewhere long forgotten by everyone. It used to be a grand building. Now it's nothing more than a pile of rubble. No one comes here anymore, nor does anyone care about what once happened here. Although, this place does have something to do with the story I'm about to tell you. It was before I became a Harbinger, and before Linny and the others joined the House of the Hearth. Due to certain events, I first killed Clairvy and then her mother. And this is where it all happened.
Oh,
You were the one that killed Clairvy?
why?
Patience now. Allow me to explain Clairvy's side of the story first. I'll start from the beginning. Clairvy was 6 years old when she was brought by her mother, Crucibina, to live in the House of the Hearth. From the outside, it seemed like a fairy tale. A thriving family made up of kind adults and friendly children. Crucibina was the knave at that time, and the House of the Hearth was under her control. She was Clairvy's mother by blood, but she was also the mother to all the children in the house. Clairvy was happy here, for a time. But she quickly realized that being part of this family wasn't a fairy tale at all. It was a kind of purgatory.
Purgatory?
Purgatory.
Exactly. The House of the Hearth takes in war orphans from all over Tevat. But as for how to raise them, that depends entirely on the person in charge. Crucibina came up with a novel idea. She would teach the children to fight, force them to duel each other, and then crown as the king of the house the child who proved themselves most worthy of inheriting her title. It's difficult to estimate the number of children who died or were maimed in the process. There's little I can say about the ones who died. The ones that emerged with permanent injuries, on the other hand, well, they still served a purpose. They would be handed over to the doctor to be experimented on, or sent away on dangerous missions. Nothing more than tools to be used and then discarded.
So those were the experiments Clairvy was talking about. But what actually happened to her? You said that Clairvy was Crucibina's daughter, so if Clairvy tried to convince her to stop what she was doing, Crucibina probably would have listened, right?
Probably not.
Despite being Clairvy's mother, Crucibina cared little for her daughter.
Hmm.
She forced Clairvy to join the House of the Hearth only as a means to demonstrate her own impartiality as a mother, to prove that she treated all her children equally. Clairvy did try to convince her mother to change her ways, but it was to no avail. After her efforts failed, the only other option was to rise up and try to fight back. Unfortunately, the other children had already been thoroughly indoctrinated into the illusion of happiness Crucibina had created. Of course, there was one exception. Someone Clairvy's age who knew the truth about the House of the Hearth. Her name was Peruere.
Wait, the friend that Clairvy mentioned?
Friend, huh? I suppose we can call her that for now. Clairvy was a cheerful and passionate person with a tenacious spirit. Peruere, on the other hand, was cold-blooded.
There's a striking resemblance to Arlecchino.
Her cold-blooded nature allowed her to see through Crucibina's facade. Yet, it was also this cold-bloodedness that prevented her from acting against it. At least at first. While Clairvy longed for freedom, Peruere was convinced that, amid all the fighting and violence, she would make it until the end. Despite their differences, the two became fast friends, united by their knowledge of the truth. Clairvy told Peruere that she hoped to create a real family, where no one would be killed or sacrificed. There may have been a certain naivete to her ideas, but Clairvy proved her determination many times over. She tried countless times to run away, ask for help, or expose the truth. But her efforts only earned her beating after beating. The only thing that kept her going was her strength of will. Even with her body racked with pain, she would still stand on her tiptoes and open the window at night. She and Peruere would look out at the moon together, a fierce longing for freedom shining in her eyes. But one day that light simply vanished.
Oh no. What happened?
Her hopelessness resulted from a culmination of things. 10 years had passed. 10 years worth of failure after failure. She and Peruere weren't children anymore, but finding any chance to escape still seemed as hopeless as ever. It was during this time that Peruere suggested a new plan. If escaping was out of the question, why not take down the very person sitting on top of this throne of lies? Mother herself. Clairvy rejected that proposal. She claimed that, as a famous harbinger, Crucibina possessed an unimaginable amount of power. Trying to kill her would have an incredibly low chance of success. Clairvy never gave another reason, but Peruere could see it written all over her face. Clairvy still thought of Crucibina as her mother. Killing her own flesh and blood was a line she couldn't bring herself to cross. If she couldn't escape and fight back, then only one option remained.
Death.
Precisely. Death was the only way that she felt she could be free. It happened during a duel. When she arrived at the dueling ring that day, her partner turned out to be none other than Peruere. The very person that had stood by her side all those years. It was a fierce battle. But ultimately, Clairvy decided to let Peruere end her life. From that moment on, Peruere's journey was one written in flames. When the rain finally came and washed it all away, there she stood, the sole victor in Mother's endless game of slaughter. A trail of corpses strewn across her path to success. It was the very result she had predicted 10 years prior. Even then, she believed she would make it until the end. She wasn't surprised by the fact that she emerged as Mother's undisputed heir. Rather, her success left her with an inexplicable sense of restlessness. She was unsettled. And there was only one thing that could quell that sensation. Perhaps you two would like to take a guess as to what it was?
Killing the person at the very top.
Crucibina, you mean? But...
Correct. This is the place where Peruere killed her best friend. A mere year later, this is also the place where she fought tooth and nail to kill the mother they shared. The moment she acted, any conception of what was right or wrong ceased to matter. It's one of the principles of the house. Only those who survive get to write the rules. Peruere won the battle, and became a harbinger herself. After which Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa, bestowed upon her a new name. Arlecchino.
So the Perry Clairvy was talking about... It was you all along. You're Peruere. Arlecchino is just a name you got later.
Your story just as much as it was Clavere's.
I left that name behind long ago. I must say, hearing it now does bring back memories. After I defeated Crucibina, the moniker of Mother died with her. I chose to forego the title she called herself, and even chose to give up my own name. I rebuilt the House of the Hearth under a new identity. Not only as Arlecchino, but as father.
That's why all the kids call her father.
And that is where the story ends. Any more questions?
Clairvy we've met, though. Who is she exactly?
Yeah. Based on what you just told us, Clairvy wasn't a little kid when she was killed. So the Clairvy we met... Was she really a spirit at all?
I suppose you could call her an illusion born of flame. Her existence is like ashes to a fire. Something left over in the wake of blaze and ruin. You see, a certain power runs through my veins. It's not unlike a curse. My flames leave behind shadows of anything they consume. Of course, The chances of those shadows morphing into a sentient entity are exceedingly slim. Clairvy is a very special case.
Clairvy is literally a ghost, but not in the traditional sense.
Clairvy died when she was 16 years old. But what emerged from the flames was her 6-year-old self. Her appearance wasn't the only thing affected. Most of her memories were lost to the blaze as well. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self. Lose 10 years' worth, however, and it would be like living in the past. Like returning to a version of yourself that never grew up.
No wonder Paimon got such a weird feeling when we were talking to her.
Perhaps I should put it this way. Clairvy is someone trapped in time. It may seem like she exists with us in the present, but she truly lives in the confines of her own past.
So if all of that is true, then you must have known about Clairvy for a long time.
Indeed. She's a rather volatile and unstable entity. Sometimes she would look after the children. She's even saved some of their lives. But other times, she would hide from me and become obsessed with revealing the truth about the house to anyone who will listen. Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter is quickly forgotten over time. Your attempts to expose Clairvy to sunlight. They failed, yes? The reason is actually quite simple. In Clairvy's mind, the house is impossible to escape, and it is this very perception that traps her there. But no matter. All I have to do is kill her again, and all will be resolved. I don't anticipate so much as a single speck of ash will be left behind this time.
Wait! Paimon can understand why you might want her gone, but isn't there another way? So what if she's trapped in her 6-year-old self? She's still your friend! At least talk to her first!
It's too late for that. She broke the rules, and now she must be punished. That goes for Filial and Nantoy as well. She's had quite the effect on them. I hope you understand. The difference between Crucibina and myself lies in our formulation of the rules, not our policy for enforcing them. Upholding the rules without question is a trait we both share, because that is how a household should be run.
Is this really what you want to do?
Oh, spoken part.
Whatever could you mean?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Whether as a killer or as a father, there are two things that must be avoided at all costs: anger and sorrow. Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver. Well, it appears it's about time to proceed. Before we arrived, I told some of my well-behaved children to bring our troublemakers here by nightfall. I do believe I've kept my end of the deal. I give your friends quite a bit more time. As for what happens now, we'll just have to wait and see.
Cat wants out. Give me a sec.
Here they are, Father.
They are father.
You gonna execute him? Seeing something like that would actually be a first for me. Lenny!
I'm sorry. I heard about how you helped buy us more time, but I still failed. I couldn't find a way to fulfill her wish.
Huh? Are you... Perry?
Indeed, it's been a while, Clairvy.
Perry!
Shh, stay right there. I'm sorry to postpone our reunion, but first, I believe certain scores need settling.
Father, let me explain.
Out of my way.
Father!
You chose to conceal a threat to the house. And for that, you must be punished. Overall, however, I suppose your wrongdoing is hardly the most egregious of the bunch, so I'll deal with your punishments later. As for right now, The more pressing concerns are the traitors among us.
By traitors? Do you mean us?
Father, let me explain. We didn't mean to.
Fultz, why don't you share what you heard?
Yes, Father. Secret Midnight Meeting number 3. Participants, Filial, Nantoi, Sato, Toddy. Nantoi clearly said, if only Father wasn't the one who took us in. Sato added, I'm sick of this life. I just want to live as a normal person. Filial was the worst of them all. She called us crazies and said a bunch of mean things about Father.
I did not! You're lying! Fultz is trying to frame us.
It's not like I'm the only one who heard those things. After that, you and Toddy and a bunch of other people started talking about Clairvy. You were using all those things Clairvy brought up as an excuse to question Father. We're birds locked in a cage. The only way out is to destroy it. That's what you said, wasn't it?
You little. You just want me gone, don't you? What did I ever do to you, huh? And you, Sheplo, have you forgotten who stood by your sickbed, watched over you, and changed your dressings? Come on, let's hear it then. What's your reason for all this?
You're wrong, Filial. We don't want you to die. You're our family.
Liar. You wouldn't be doing this if that were the case. So why? Why have you backed us into a corner?
We all live in the House of the Hearth. You know the type of work we do, Filial. A single betrayal can cost dozens of us our lives. It's not like it's never happened before. That kind of thing is hard to forget.
Cat walks back.
That's why the House of the Hearth cannot tolerate any form of betrayal. Ever since we came to Poisson, you've had 7 secret meetings. A lot of the things you talked about really crossed the line.
You've been spying on us for half a month? Wait a second. Now that I think about it, the move to Poisson was just a way to make it easier to spy on us, wasn't it? Because we were all in one place. You've had this planned all along.
Filial, Nantoi, I'm sorry. I owe you both my life. I owe Clairvy too. If it weren't for all your help after I got poisoned, I wouldn't be standing here today. If this were any other situation, I would do anything to repay that kindness, even if it cost me my life. But rules are rules. I'm sorry. My hands are tied.
Why? Why?
That's enough, Filial. We made a mistake, and we should own up to it. We broke the rules, plain and simple. And now we have to face the consequences. I'm sorry, Sheplo. Fultz. I'm sorry, Father. We accept our punishment.
Chapleau, according to the rules of the House of the Hearth, how should these traitors be punished?
All those who betray the house pay with their lives.
And so it shall be.
Father, please wait!
Something you want to say, Linny?
Please reconsider, Father. What Filial and the others did, does it really count as betrayal? We all come from broken families. From the very first day we joined the House of the Hearth, we wanted nothing more than to make it a real home. But the truth is, none of us know what a real home should look like. I'm not saying I have all the answers. All I know is this. Killing Filial and the others may uphold the rules, but doing so will only bring us further away from being a real family than we've ever been. So please, Father, please, reconsider.
I agree with Linny.
Father, please.
Linny, you...
I also agree with Linny.
An order once given cannot be rescinded. However, given the extent of your determination, I suppose we shall have to go about this a different way. Draw your weapons and face me.
Our weapons?
Father, are you referring to a duel?
Precisely. The rules of the house will not be altered. Traitors must be punished. However, resolving disputes with a duel is also one of our rules, one that also applies to me. Demonstrate a sufficient showing of strength, and I shall offer a concession.
Wait. Beat Father in a duel?
Impossible. Father is way too strong, even for Lenny.
Of course he's gonna do it.
Did you hear that, Traveler?
Yes, we did.
Lenny and the others have to duel the knave. What should we do? Can they really win something like that? If they lose, those people from the house are really gonna be executed. Hey, are you listening?
Is executing them really what she wants?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver.
Then she never actually answered my question. That makes the answer pretty obvious, doesn't it?
Oh. Looking at that expression on her face, she seems really serious about this. Guess that means there's no chance she's throwing the duel on purpose, huh?
There's no way the knave will lose on purpose.
When guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely to escalate.
When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
What's wrong, Traveler? Hey, where are you going?
Traveler?
I like to see for myself what the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers can do.
You're asking to join the duel against the knave?
If that's okay.
I'll allow it. We do have a ready-made dueling ring at our disposal, after all. All I would advise is this. Keep a firm grasp on your weapon, and give it your all. Any less, and you may just lose your life.
Here comes the boss battle. This is probably going to be a taste of the weekly boss that you get to fight. Yeah.
Gather!
Commit to memory.
Is it my turn now?
Share my knowledge.
Inazuma shines eternal. Now that's more like it.
Now's our chance!
With the fog of darkness, destruction shall rise.
Things are about to get dicey.
Have a taste of purgatory.
The Temple of Wisdom.
With these rising flames.
Over here.
Not bad. You've proven to be a worthy opponent after all.
Order guide you.
Nice. That went well. That's just the first phase. Man, that's impressive. Now we do the second phase. Oh, that's a cheap shot.
All that remains.
Gotcha. Quietly now.
This way, Prelude. Share my knowledge.
Illusion shattered. Game's up. Game's over.
Stabilize.
Grow.
Bust stay.
Inazuma shines eternal!
Sunset is only the
Now's our
beginning.
chance!
Over here!
Sunset is only the beginning.
This is order.
Almost died there, actually. Close.
You should know better than to crowd in one place.
Oh, I know.
No! I'm sorry, Father!
That blocks him.
Sorry for what? This pitiful excuse for an attack.
Father, no!
Made it out, did you? You're stronger than I expected.
A crimson moon? I can't move.
Still, not strong enough to beat me.
So we kind of won and we kind of lost, I guess.
I believe we can end things here. It's not often that we get to enjoy the company of guests, after all. We wouldn't want things to get too out of hand.
Brother, are you alright?
Linny, given that I am the victor of this duel, as agreed, the punishment stands.
No!
I never thought things would end like this.
However, everyone involved in the duel demonstrated a remarkable level of strength and determination. In light of this, I'm prepared to change the method of execution. Elwar, the bottled flames I gave you for safekeeping. Do you still have them?
Yes? I wasn't sure what they were for, but I've kept them super safe. I didn't lose a single one.
Wonderful. Then, in just a moment, I'll have you administer them.
Bottled flames?
Indeed. They're the product of a secret experiment. Under certain special circumstances, flames can be extracted from my person and preserved. Once ingested, searing pain will spread across every inch of your body. No harm will come to you physically, but your memories will be burned away. If you can withstand the pain. When you awake, you'll have forgotten everything you know about the House of the Hearth, and will be expelled from the organization. In other words, administering this concoction will kill the version of you that grew up in the house, and give you a new identity.
That means the young man I thought looked familiar, the one selling newspapers outside the Palais Mononia, he must have been the same horror we saw on the list of executions. He wasn't killed at all.
Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self.
No, if my understanding of the knave is right, she really thinks that is killing him. Horror that lived in the house of the Herf is dead. One that remains is simply a normal person living out his life with his beloved. So it's much better than actually ending their lives.
So, you're just letting us go, Father?
You misunderstand. Memories are extremely important. Once consumed by flame, the version of you standing before me will die, and our secrets will die with you. So no, I don't intend to just let you go, because the person who survives will be nothing but a stranger.
Even so, I won't have to live in fear anymore. I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry I let you down. But I really...
Don't cry, Filial. You haven't left the house yet, so there are still rules to be followed, yes? Remember what I taught you. Anger makes you impulsive, sorrow causes you to waver. Don't let yourself be controlled by your emotions.
Of course. I'll remember.
Dry your tears, and go pursue the life you really want.
Yes, Father.
Chaplot, Foltz, Elwar. Take them back to Poisson. And bring Linny and the others as well. I prepared 3 extra vials of bottled flames. As for whether to take them, the choice is yours. Goodbye, children. The next time we meet, I will no longer be your father. Thank you for all you've done for the house. I hope you have bright futures ahead of you.
Father.
Let's go.
Here, grab my arm, Linny. I'll help you walk back.
Thank you.
Clairvy.
Can we talk now? I've been waiting for a super long time. You really are Perry, aren't you? I haven't seen you in so long. How come you're all grown up? Wait, did I somehow travel to the future on accident? Or am I dreaming? What a long dream.
Neither. You died, Clairvy. That's what happened.
You could have at least sugarcoated it a little. Look, she's done speechless.
This really is Clairvy's younger self, then I would say she's probably had enough lies.
Oh.
Huh? That's it? You accepted it just like that?
Yep. If that's what Perry says happened, then I believe her. Perry wouldn't lie to me. Plus, I don't really need to know why I'm like this. I'm more curious about what happens in the future. If you're a Harbinger now, Perry, that means Mother is gone, isn't she? Can you tell me about it? I want to know what happened to her. And to me.
You never stopped trying to defy fate. At first, no one believed you. You could only vent your frustrations to the moon. In fact, you often sought comfort in the night sky. You wanted to see the aurora, so one night we promised each other we would go to Snezhnaya to see it together. Later on, you tried to run away, but you were brought back each time. Mother spared your life, but it wasn't out of kindness. Instead, she decided to make an example of you by slowly torturing you over time. That way, the other children would know what happens to traitors. Still, you never gave up. Mother hoped that through ruthless duel after ruthless duel, she would be able to crown an ultimate victor among the children she raised. But you called on everyone to unite, to fight to a draw in order to reduce casualties. Your efforts may have only delayed the inevitable, but still. You gave them hope. You tried everything you could think of, but every attempt ended in failure. Still, you never turned your sword on Crucibina, and you never turned it on me. On that gloomy day, you told me, for the last 16 years of my life, I've done everything I can to fight for freedom. But now, I realize that the only freedom I truly possess is the freedom to choose to die.
I never imagined I would say something like that. I must have been feeling really worn down. But somehow, I still think I understand. According to Mother's plan, only one of us was going to make it until the end. And I always hoped that person would be you. If I could do it all over again, I still don't think I would make a different choice. Even when I first met you, I knew you'd be able to do what I couldn't.
Is that so? Even now, I'm not sure I truly understand what kind of freedom you were trying to pursue. But as the head of the House of the Hearth, and as the children's father, I've tried to give them the most basic of freedoms. The freedom to choose their own fate. It's something I discussed with the Eudex of Fontaine. The children who want to leave the house will have their memories wiped clean of all secrets pertaining to the organization. In return, they will be allowed to live a normal life in Fontaine without being prosecuted for their past. Of course, I won't simply hand freedom to them on a silver platter. They have to fight for it and prove themselves worthy of it. Only freedom that is earned has true value.
That's more than enough. That's exactly the kind of life I was fighting for. You know, Perry, I think you're a pretty amazing king, and a really great father, too. I'm really happy that you're the one who took over the house. I guess I do have one regret, though. I still haven't seen the outside world.
Well, it just so happens that our dear guests over here have been to many nations and traveled to countless places. Perhaps they would be willing to tell you what the outside world is like.
Really? Of course! We've traveled all over the place. We've got so many stories, we could probably talk your ears off for 3 days straight!
And then we get to recount our the game's story up to this point, to this specter.
You know, I used to dream of being a bard, playing the lute while singing into the winds of freedom. Even if there was no one there to listen, I would have continued to sing no matter what. Ah, that's where Mora comes from. I never knew that before. If I had some Mora, I would buy 3 new dresses. One for me, one for Perry, and one for Mother. It's just too bad Perry doesn't like wearing dresses. And Mother, well, she probably wouldn't accept something like that either. I guess I'd just have to keep them all for me then. I could wear a different one every day. Those yokai you mentioned, what do they look like? I once saw a drawing of this one guy with horns on his head and a super scary face. Are there any yokai like that?
Oh, sounds like you're talking about an Oni. Yep, we've met one, and let Paimon tell you, they're not nearly as scary as they look.
I was always too afraid to skip Mother's fighting lessons. But at the academia, I bet you could do all sorts of secret things in class. Things that have nothing to do with studying. I'm just kidding. Being able to study whatever you want without having to fear for your life actually sounds pretty great.
The situation was super dangerous. Lenny and Lynette were accused of committing a crime, and they were going to have to stand trial at the Opera Epicles.
Oh no! That must have been hard for all of you. What happened next?
Don't worry, we were able to turn the situation around super quickly, all thanks to Detective Paimon, of course.
How'd you do that? Come on, tell me!
Okay, so it was like this. After the failed magic show, we rushed to the scene and...
Hervé is listening really intently to Paimon's story about our time in Fontaine. She seems really happy, like all of her troubles have been forgotten. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been able to truly relax. I'm not sure how long this moment can last.
Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter is quickly forgotten over time.
As time passes, she'll probably forget everything we told her, and get back to being the scared little girl who could only hide in the shadows. I was so busy thinking I almost didn't notice the sun has risen.
Clairvy, you've worked tirelessly from the shadows to overthrow the House of the Hearth. Now, by my authority as the Knave, I shall announce how this matter ends. You are hereby expelled from the House of the Hearth. You are no longer tied to this place, nor are you bound by its rules.
You're saying that I can finally leave? I get to experience the outside world as well?
Maybe.
Oh, I almost forgot. There's no getting older for me. Still, seeing who you grew up to be makes me really happy, Parallel. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
May we meet again someday.
Clairvy. She left so soon. Paimon didn't even get to finish her story.
I also have certain sentiments left unsaid. I wanted to tell her that the aurora I saw in Snezhnaya was just as beautiful as the ones in the pictures. But a shadow's memories reset at dawn. Had we delayed any longer, we wouldn't have had the time to say goodbye. Whatever regrets may linger, let them be lost to the coming of a new day.
Father?
Still coughing.
Linny! Hey, Linny! What is he doing back here? Let's go check it out.
Father, bottled flames have been administered. Filial and the others have left the house.
And you? What have you decided?
Thank you for giving us that choice, Father. But we never wanted to leave the house. It's the only home we've ever known. Lynette and Fremine feel the same way. They're recuperating back at the Hotel Bouffe d'été. But I decided to come back and tell you where we stood.
I'm sure you're well aware of the expectations I have for you. I want you to follow in my footsteps and become the next king of the house. Yet you seem to have different ideas. I must admit, I'm rather surprised by your decision to stay. There's nothing wrong with choosing to live a quiet life. Leading this organization is a heavy responsibility, one not so easily carried by someone forced onto the throne.
I just never understood what you saw in me. What made you believe I was deserving of that throne?
You're brave, talented, and, most importantly, you cherish your family. You would do anything to protect them, even if it costs you your life.
Speaking up back there was so brave of you, Linny. It's all thanks to you that we were able to convince Father to back down.
You're a hero, Linny.
Hero. Father is the real hero. Had Father gone all out during the duel, there's no way I would have walked away with my life. She must have had it all planned from the beginning, from the very moment she suggested a duel. I'm not deserving of that title. I'm not strong enough or smart enough.
You're wrong. In my opinion, all you need to be deserving of the throne is conviction and the necessary strength to act on it. We may have different ideas of what it means to be a family, but you can hardly be said to lack conviction. What you truly lack is strength. For someone of your talent, though, that's something that will come with time. Even without that strength, you still chose to face me in a duel, even though the odds were stacked against you. That capacity to honor your convictions is what I truly see in you.
Father.
No one knows what the future holds, what tragedy or triumph may be in store. Being at the head of this organization requires the strength of will to face whatever comes. Caution will only hold you back. If reaching a certain standard were required to go after what you want, I would never have succeeded in killing my predecessor. Back then, there was still a considerable gap between our abilities. Strength may decide the ultimate victor, but those who let a lack of strength dictate their decisions or undermine their convictions will never be worthy of the throne.
I understand, Father. Thank you.
Children must grow up to surpass their parents. Only then can a family continue to flourish. The road ahead is not an easy one, so I'll ask you one last time. Are you certain you want to stay?
You've done so much for me, Father, and that kindness must be repaid. Plus, with Project Stuja at hand, there are many dangers ahead, and I, for one, don't intend to back down. Protecting my family at all costs. That's my conviction.
Then you're welcome to stay. As for Project Stuja, you need not be too concerned. If those cowardly businessmen and heartless dignitaries try to take us down, I'm prepared to teach them a lesson. Having members who longed for the light was our organization's last weakness. With those members no longer among our ranks, the House of the Hearth is like a spider hiding in the shadows. We need only wait for our prey to come to us. At present, our imperative is to use their plan to our advantage. In doing so, a crimson moon shall rise amid the frigid blizzards of winter. No demonstration of loyalty shall go unrewarded, and no sacrifice shall be in vain. As for the two of you, whether we meet again as friend or foe, I'll remember the camaraderie we shared in this moment. No matter how arduous the journey ahead, I hope we both reach our desired destination.
And then we gotta wait 2 whole days. That was a lot of talking for a cutscene. That should be 2 whole days there.
Where do you want to go next?
Didn't
Yeah,
Linny
there we go.
say that Lynette and Fremine were recovering at the Hotel Bouffe d'été? Oh, Paimon wonders how they're doing. Maybe we should go check on them.
Yeah, we should. They almost fucking died.
Lynette? Fremine? How are you feeling?
Much better.
Whew, what a relief.
What about you? Are you feeling alright?
I'm right as
I
rain.
knew you'd come out unscathed. Us, on the other hand, well, we've been bedridden for 2 days. I couldn't even turn over. Oh, and I wanted to ask, is Clairvy gone?
Yes.
Linny and the other
Gone,
members have
gone.
left Poisson and returned to the House of the Hearth. According to him, there haven't been any more sightings of a spirit roaming the house.
We bid her farewell under a blanket of sunlight. Her wish had been fulfilled.
I see.
I'm glad. Father came to check up on us 2 days ago and told us about what happened with Crucibina and Clairvy. Actually, I've met Crucibina before.
Wait, what? You've met the former knave?
Crucibina died a year after Clairvy. It was during the year between their deaths that I joined the House of the Hearth. Crucibina had an extremely cruel and radical way of doing things. While she was alive, the atmosphere in the house was suffocating. When I joined, though, the experiment she valued so much had already come to an end, and all the people involved, dead and injured alike, were gone. Crucibina never talked about the past with us newcomers. A couple of months after I joined, Father killed Crucibina and burned all her files. With that, the names of all the people subjected to her experiments, Clairvy included, were lost to the flames, along with the painful memories they represented.
Father took in Lenny and me a couple months after that, but she never mentioned anything about Crucibina or Clairvy.
It really seems like something she was planning to keep to herself. The last time you talked to her, did she mention why she kept it a secret for so long?
She said she didn't want us to be affected by the darkness of the past. She was worried we'd develop a false sense of gratitude towards her if we knew about it. The foundation of a family should be free of any corrupting influence. Whatever happened in the past, it has nothing to do with who we are now. And that's what Father told us in the end.
But I still thanked her for everything. It was only after hearing about what Crucibina did that I finally realized how insignificant our lives could have been. The members of the house meant nothing to her. To say that she valued them in any way, even just as a tool, would probably be giving her too much credit. If Father hadn't taken over the House of the Hearth, I probably would have already...
Don't think about that. She saves you in the end.
Father rarely brings up the fact that she saved us. She doesn't believe that being indebted to her should be what ties us together. But even if we didn't owe her anything, we would still choose to stay. Because this is our home. We may have arguments or times when we feel wronged. Some people may even choose to leave. But as long as Father is here, we will always have a home.
Whether the path before us is bathed in sunlight or shrouded in shadow, we'll follow Father wherever she chooses to go. So I wanted to say thank you for helping us make it through this crisis. Without your help, we could have lost a lot more along the way.
Oh, we didn't do anything, really.
Invite us back as guests, and we'll call it even.
Of course. You're welcome anytime.
Are Filial and Nantoy okay?
I actually saw them at a cafe this morning. They didn't recognize me. From what I could tell, they were drinking coffee and talking about one of the operas that started running recently. They seemed happy. If I had to take a guess, I would say they finally found the kind of life they always wished for.
And that ends the quest. And we get a fireplace for all of our hard work. Along with the usual junk.
I'm not guessing.
Genshin knows how to make good stories. Well, they know how to make lengthy stories. Whether they're good or not is up to individual interpretation.
Add Astro.
Hang on. I think that by doing all of that, I should have missions done already. Yeah. That redeemed.
Add Astro. Thank you for Add Astro.
Those refreshed. What's this thing? Oh, dailies. Get rid of those. Yeah, I've enjoyed most of the quests in this game. What time do we got? Still got a half hour, roughly. Do kind of want to check out the beginning of this latest event.
Boats are made for transferring
Do that.
commodities back and forth.
You have to use this.
And those that come across Liyue tend to stay a while.
Now we gotta go all the way to Watsumi Island, which is all the way down here in Inazuma. They got a whole thing set up here.
Whoa, so this is the venue, huh? Not half bad.
Ito and the Fontanian guy.
Ah, don't you worry, Jack Attack. We'll find that dog, even if it's hiding in Tenshukaku.
Ito, it's just a myth.
What dog?
Whoa, compadre! And Paimon! You finally made it! Oh man, have I missed you guys.
Ready for bed? You had a long day today. Oh. Hopefully, well, you powered through it. That's what mattered. Hopefully it wasn't too taxing.
Oh, yeah, and this is Dvorak, a musician from Fontaine. Jack Attack, you know these two, right?
Hey, Mr. Dvorak, it's you!
It's so wonderful to see you both again. I feel like that lantern rite was just yesterday. How have you been?
Pretty good. So how did you end up hanging around with Ito? Is he helping you with the iridescence tour now?
Oh, you better believe it, Minnie Melon. But that's only half the story. This is no ordinary iridescence tour. Me and Jack Attack are teaming up to turn this into the iridescent Arataki Rockin' for Life tour de force of awesomeness.
Rockin' for life? What do you know about rock and roll, Bullchucker?
Huh? What, you never heard of Bullchucker rock before? Moo, moo, moo!
What kind of music? Well, it's almost the weekend. Now we're halfway through the week, yes.
Don't try and understand it, Mini Melon. It'll melt your mind. It's about letting loose. Come on, give us some lavender melon rock.
Okay, speak for yourself, mister. Sounds like you're the one whose mind is melting.
Just to backtrack a little, what's this dog here we're talking about?
Just a local legend I heard about. Apparently there was a war between the islands of Narukami and Watatsumi not too long ago. Is that right?
Such a waste. When will people learn? Make rock and roll, guys, not war.
A tragedy to be sure. Countless animals were affected by the fallout. A raven, a bakedanuki, a weasel thief, and many more sustained injuries.
Fair point. The animals didn't deserve that. But, and not to downplay it or anything, but didn't even worse stuff happen than that?
In the eyes of a rocker, all living things are equally important.
So did this dog get injured too?
No. The story goes that this dog was something like a ninkin. It would show up out of nowhere in the middle of a battle to rescue the injured animals and take them to safety.
Ninja dog.
Rockin' and rollin' to the rescue! A king among canines! Woo! There'll always be a place for him in the Arataki gang.
Where did you hear about this?
In Rito. I was actually there while the war was going on. It inspired me to write a song about it. I was even planning to host a music festival around the same theme, but unfortunately, I couldn't convince my investors.
Oh yeah, I heard all about that. They claimed they had to cancel their plans because of an accident at sea, but that was just a lame excuse.
Yes, they weren't optimistic about the potential return on investment. Plus, I don't know, there seemed to be some other risks they were worried about.
What kind of risks?
Good question. Risks only apparent to people with mora to throw around, I suppose.
I agree. When people have too much mora, they lose their rock and roll spirit.
They do, huh? So what do you mean by rock and roll spirit anyway?
You know, the spirit of, you rock up, rock out, roll the dice, and roll with the punches. And that sort of stuff.
Huh. By that definition, aren't the investors the most rock and roll people in this scenario?
Anyway, point is, those chumps are out, and Arataki Ito is in. I'm running the show from here on out.
Oh, yeah, right! How are you gonna fill in for the investors? Do you even have any more?
I have faith in Ito. He tells me that the Arataki gang is a small but well-known and influential organization in this area, and has even been known to rub shoulders with the local authorities. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Rub shoulders with the local authorities, indeed.
Rub shoulders is putting it mildly. More like they're always locking horns.
Hey, don't look down your nose at the Arataki gang. I got connections, all right? Even the Tri-Commission listens to what I have to say.
Okay, Mr. Big Shot, whatever you say.
You can doubt it all you want, Mini Melon, but it's the truth. You know that guy in the Yashiro Commission? Well, he and I are officially bros. That's right. I'm talking about Toma, housekeeper extraordinaire.
I thought one of the Kamisados.
And there's the general from the Tenryo Commission, Kujo Tengu. I mean, sure, we're always ribbing each other, but it comes from a place of deep mutual respect.
She wants to lock you up just as much as everyone else does.
Mutual? Yeah, Paimon's not so sure about that.
What about the Kanjo Commission?
Okay, fair. No first-name contacts there. But the Arataki gang is a big contributor to the revenue stream. All those fines we pay.
Fines?
Huh? No, I mean the taxes. Yeah.
Yes, taxes, wink wink.
But that's not all. Let's not forget my contacts outside of the Tri-Commission, huh? Amazing, talented people from all walks of life. Like the TCG legend, Ayato. Oh yeah, he's made quite a name for himself in the TCG circles. In fact, they got a saying now. Ayato of the South Ito of the North. Ha ha ha! That's right. I'm the only serious competition he's got in all of Inazuma.
Did you make that saying up?
Probably.
Then there's the Fox Lady, VIP customer of Yukio's ramen stall and fellow participant in the Ramen Masters Championship. I was her only worthy opponent. Also, you know that lonely god in Tenshukaku? Well, guess what? Turns out it was her lifelong wish to catch one of Arataki Ito's events.
No.
During the Drum-Along Festival, the Tenryo Commission were worried that their almighty shogun might have too much fun and lose interest in running the government. That's why they invited me over to stay for a couple of days.
Wow, look at you! Sounds like you're really going up in the world. At this rate, you'll have made Shogun by the next time we see you. And then Paimon will have to call you Almighty Bullchucker.
Arataki gang never ceases to amaze.
Well, I'll admit I heard a few exaggerations there myself, but regardless, Ito has helped me secure a venue for this event, and for that, I owe him my thanks.
Alrighty, Reno. Thanks for watching. You have a good night. I'll probably be wrapping up as soon as this cutscene is done.
Ah, it's nothing. Don't mention it. My bro Goro sorted it all out for me. Let's both go thank him later.
Wait, you know Goro?
Yep. I always knew him as General Goro of the Resistance Fighters. But I had no idea there was more to the story. Turns out, he has another identity.
What other identity?
You've, heard of Miss Hina, right?
Miss Hina, so you...
Hey, no need to yell, all right? Yes, Miss Hina. She's the one who told me. After falling for the Tenryo Commission's tricks at the Drum-Along Festival, I figured I'd find a new location this time, somewhere out of their reach, like, here, for example. So I wrote Miss Hina a letter, asking if she knew anything about the procedure for holding an event on Watatsumi Island. She wrote me back right away and said I could ask Watatsumi Island's general for help, and that his name was Goro. I was like, what? General Goro is the general of all Watatsumi Island?
That was close. Paimon's with you now, but what did you think general meant?
What do you mean? Isn't it like one general per squad or something?
That's called a captain.
Really? Huh. Well, either way, if it wasn't for Miss Hina, I never would have known. Pretty rock and roll, huh?
So rock and roll.
All right. Good chat, compadre. I just remembered I got a meeting with Goro coming up. Gonna ask him about that dog situation. Gonna have to love you and leave you for now.
You don't want us to join? We could help.
You guys focus on having a blast here at the festival. I think I can handle this little canine conundrum. There's still a few days left until the big party, so not everything's set up yet. But, the jam zone and the roasted lavender melon zone are ready for action. Have fun, compadre. Got a dash.
What a character. Gotta admire his enthusiasm, though. Well, it looks like it's just the three of us for now. Why don't I show you the jam zone to start with?
Now the event is pretty much unlocked in a sense. But as I said, I was going to wrap it up here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright. That's going to be the end of the stream for tonight. I mean, technically, I do have like 10-ish minutes left, but we'll call it now. So yeah, that'll be the end of the stream for tonight. Next stream will be tomorrow, though. I will have a stream tomorrow where I believe the plan is to play some random retro games, I think. Yeah. Random retro games. Probably do another, like, roulette wheel like I tried to do with the NES games a couple streams back. This time I might... No, it was Game Boy. Yeah, it was Game Boy that I did for that. But this time I'll probably do Super NES, so that might be fun. Maybe even squeeze in a little more Sandland if there's if time allows it. All right. And of course, I got no one watching me now. How sad. I would like to send a raid, but okay, I think she's finishing. Okay, I was gonna raid Pearline because she's also playing Genshin, but no, she looked like she's wrapping up too. Oh, I'll just send you guys over to Rare. Rare always welcomes me. Oh God, what the hell is Rare wearing? I don't know what the hell Rare's doing, but we're gonna go raid her and find out. So feel free to join in on that raid. I'm sure she'd appreciate it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So again, next stream will be tomorrow. We'll play some more. Play some retro or some Super NES games, and maybe sneak in some more Sandland. So with all that said, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good night. Hope to see you all tomorrow, and please enjoy Rare Gangster.